Automobiles. Over a century ago, the first horseless contraption propelled by an internal combustion engine appeared on the road. 5,000 motor cars per year were produced at the beginning of this century. Currently, this number has grown to over 30 million per year. Still, there are buyers galore. At least it was so in September 1988 at Riga. Motor cars have become highly sophisticated, although their basic principles remain as initially laid out. It is a highly prejudiced public attitude that has changed dramatically in the course of time. Motor cars, from a luxury, have become a necessity. We need them like fresh air. However, fresh air we really need. In this context, motor cars in the main streets of Riga do not differ from their counterparts in other cities of the world. They are a symbol of our time. We live in a paradoxical time. Who can recognize and name the city and location of this sea? Is it Riga, Vilnius, or Minsk? However, can anyone be sure which windows belong to his flat? Maybe here lies the cause of nostalgia we experience for all things vintage, things that with the passage of time become unique and original. Time cannot be stopped or turned back, yet our mission is to preserve the traces of bygone times. Just have a walk along the narrow streets of the old Riga and you become completely absorbed by antique sounds and period atmosphere which makes you feel at home here, wherever you come from. The old Riga is wonderful and humane. No wonder its true inhabitants have deep respect for things historical. Port of Riga, rows of new ladas queue up for their turn to be exported. The old city of Riga is impatiently awaiting some precious overseas cargo, hidden in the holds of this white motor ship Konstantin Simonov. The gangway is lowered, and out onto the shore comes the mysterious cargo, historic motor vehicles. They all will participate in the International Historic Vehicle Rally Riga 88. Trip to the rally venue, drivers and their vehicles get acquainted with the city of Riga and some of its cobblestone streets. This center will soon be housing the historic motor museum of Latvia. Meanwhile, at the venue, Preparation work for the rally is in full progress. The organizers avail themselves to last-minute head-scratching. It may sometimes seem that the participants are more busy with their spit and polish work than the organizers. It is the amounts of elbow grease and midnight oil burnt that make all the difference. As always, everybody is very busy. Yet, after just a few brush strokes, everything will be ready. Meantime, our guests and participants have an outing in yachts towards the Bay of Riga. Few yachts can boast such internationally varied teams. At the rally venue, on Friday evening, we have a live concert of a most popular Latvian rock group. Rally opening ceremony attended by Viktors Kulbergs, Historic Motor Museum and Restoration Center Director Jānis Janovskis, Minister for Roads and Transport of Latvia, and Prince Krapcu Hohenlohe-Langenburg, President of FIBA.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to be here in Riga for the second time. I've come here 2 years ago for the first time, and I was already very impressed with what I saw of the activities of the Latvian Automobilklub, and now I've come back to see what has been achieved in 2 years' time. When I turn around and see this very impressive building, then I can only congratulate all those who have worked for this goal in the last 2 years. The Antico Automobilklub here in Riga has also now come to FIBA and asked for becoming a member in FIBA, and we are very glad about this application. And as I said before, we will do everything from our side to support the movement here in Riga and Latvia.
Participants enter with their vehicles through the elevated rally gate and are presented to the public. A group of enterprising British students arrived to Riga with their Dennis G. Towstruck bus of 1929. Towstruck's top speed is very limited, so driver Stephen Hogan should not be afraid of getting a ticket for speeding, at least not in this country. Yet his main cause for concern would be road clearance. Switzerland with his 1936 Bentley, a luxury car of outstanding design and workmanship. It seems as if it has just left the factory. Firefighters, as a rule, are always responsible for something, for something unexpected and intriguing. But let us make a digression to pay tribute to another famous fire engine, the legendary Russo-built Model D of 1912. The pride and joy of local enthusiasts, this fire engine has been restored to pristine condition by members of the Antique Automobile Club of Latvia, and it is being preserved in the Riga Firefighting Museum. It is one of only two Rusabout cars surviving to date. Fire engine of 1938. Assembled from imported parts in the Virox factory in Riga, this car now belongs to Historic Motor Museum of Latvia. The car of the only participant from Bulgaria. Peter Zalums, Australian-born Latvian, is accepted outside competition since his Ducati does not comply with rally regulations.
Australia, yeah, similar to motorcyclists. Australia likes to smoke south speed.
Expatriate Latvians are now more welcome to our events than ever before. Vehoniemi museum owner Mr. Olavi Sallinen with his American-made GMC pickup of 1957 from Finland. 85 motor cars and several dozen of motorcycles are on display in his museum at Tampere. This rare Vinca motorcycle is a special inauguration present from Finland's Vehoniemi Museum to Historic Motor Museum of Latvia.
Kultūras pils, Ziemeļblāzma dejotāji, lūdzu.
Mr. Raimo Kaistola with his 1951 Rover 75 from Finland.
Hyvät Englann Contemporary finska sisudirektörs Bruce Pilson nu. Och en finsk lastbil.
Mr. Heikki Juossi and his BMW 502 V8 of 1956 from Finland. Events always pull great crowds of enthusiastic spectators. which may be an uncommon sight to Western eyes. No provision was made for rainy conditions. From Czechoslovakia has brought over his aerial square 4 of 1931, which is nowadays a very rare model for Latvia. Mr. and Mrs. Walter James Flew, members of the Active Riders section of the Vintage Motorcycle Club of Great Britain, took their Norton sidecar outfit to Riga after having had the engine stripped and one main bearing replaced. Mr. Jiří Chorice from Czechoslovakia has brought over this British-made AGS Model R8 of 1930. Mr. Zbigniew Nowakowski came all the way from Poland in his 15-horsepower BMW DA2 of 1930. One of a couple of daring lady drivers, Mrs. Helena Tolochova, drove this Aero Model 30 of 1936 all the way from Czechoslovakia. From Poland hails this BMW model AM4 of 1934, driven by Mr. Andrzej Pomode.
15 zirgspēku motors.
Dzień dobry.
Mrs. Helena Roscoe and her husband, Mr. Richard Sladen, flew their 1939 Packard station wagon from their home in Richmond, Canada, to Sweden. Then they drove it to Helsinki to catch the ferry boat to Riga. Sturmer, General Secretary of FIVA, arrived from Norway in his highly desirable 1925 Bugatti Model 30. His passenger is Mr. Björn Erik Linz, Chairman of the Historical Commission of FIVA. The sight, sound and smell of this Bugatti are really thrilling. Would you believe that the owner of this 1939 Maybach SW42, Mr. Viktor Rokitiansky, is a regular participant in all our major rallies, despite the fact that he lives in Kramatorsk, in the heart of Russia? Mr. Günther Niese from East Berlin is the proud owner of this rare 1924 FN Model M50.
Spike, das Force gesagt.
4 cilindri.
And it's a chain drive.
Local enthusiast Mr. Albert Altens is the owner and driver of this 1929 Ford Model A. Mr. Branislav Sujic from Scotland brought over this 1930 Rouge TT replica racer to the benefit of our motorcycle enthusiasts. Mr. Sujik's Bugatti developed some mechanical fault, hence it was left at home.
Viņš ir būvēts 1940. ātrumā, and the maximum velocity
170 kilometers.
Mr. Knut Erik Bjerkeses, his wife Mrs. Margaret Bjerkeses, and daughters Miss Trude and Miss Siri came from their hometown Oslo in Norway with their 1919 Franklin, a rare American air-cooled motor car. It is their first rally outside Scandinavia since the car was bought. Mr. Edward Zvirksts is one of the oldest stalwarts of the Antique Automobile Club of Latvia.
Un tā jau ir vēsture, tās jau vairs nav mašīnas. Paldies jums, viens mirklis šeit, meitenes, varbūt izkāpiet.
As ever, he is faithful to his spouse and his 1939 Opel Kapitän. Mr. Yanis Shabaks from Riga has always had a strong affection for general-purpose vehicles. This one is a Russian-made Gaz 67B of 1943, a real Russian Jeep, though a bit off-color.
About some specialties. This car.
Mr. Colin Pettit is the proud master of the Swiss-made Alvis Special.
Free in the world.
Tātad, kā jūs saprotat, šī automobīļa ir būvēta Šveicē, un pats svarīgākais ir tādi tikai 3 pasaulē.
Mr. David Salzberger has driven his 1953 Bentley Continental to Riga via Brest and Moscow.
Well, it was 5 when you saw it the first time.
I think so, yes. When I was a small boy when I saw it, and I decided I had to have one, and it took me a long time to get one, but I did.
Aiet no Moskavas, visi prom, atkāpieties, tikmēr jūs ir klāts automobils. Aiet no Moskavas. Es jūs ļoti lūdzu.
Over 50,000 spectators visited the rally to have a look at 171 historic vehicles. That is 120 motor cars and 51 motorcycles from 15 countries. Replacement parts for historic vehicles have to be reproduced as close as possible to original specifications. It's a challenge to any restorer, definitely not an occupation for the faint-hearted. This security limousine has notorious pedigree. Father Stalin, no less, used it for his chauffeured missions around Moscow. It has bulletproof windows, 8 centimeters thick, armored shell, and its weight, would you believe, is in excess of 7 tons. Sure, the most secure motor car in our museum collection. This ammo car, CGS of Mr. Abrams Leibovitz, is still going strong, regardless of its legendary history. In its salad days, it was taken to Rally Monte Carlo and all the way back to Riga by a local hero, Yevgeny Skansky, behind the wheel. Saturday morning begins with a guided tour of the historic Motor Museum and Restoration Center building, which is in its finishing stage. Therefore, only one car is displayed. It is a 16-cylinder 1938 Auto Union Type C racer, the very car that got the museum project started.
Because it should be in working condition. Yes. But first of all, they have to find out what's wrong with it. Yep. There should only would also be probably nowadays to find the right mixture of fuel. Yes. Yes.
The floor is taken by Mr. Jānis Janovskis, Minister for Roads and Transport of Latvia. This museum has been created to open up new possibilities and to foster the vintage movement in this country, says Minister.
If yes, ordinary General Secretary, Mr. Stormer.
Mr. Karl Henrik Stürmer, General Secretary of FIVA, airs his views too.
Thank you. Mr. Minister, Mr. Chairman, I'm delighted to be here in this new museum. It is one of the best museum buildings I've seen anywhere for automobiles. It is good light, and it's spacious, and it's also a very nice building. I really congratulate you on this occasion.
This will be for Auto Union, for some sports cars and motorcycles. Even for motorcycles and bicycles, some places in first this car too.
Good. Prince Kraft to Hohenlohe Langenburg, President of FIVA.
Was a building company.
Come to this point. This is fantastic. And I mean, when I was here 2 years ago, I only saw lots of material lying around. And you said, we want to build a museum. I said, yes, okay.
One of the most popular activities of Rally Riga 88 is the regularity contest. This type of contest allows for competition among different types and classes of vehicles. It is essential to maintain a sequence of lap times with the least differences and do it by eye judgment. The regularity contest is organized for motorcycles, three-wheelers and automobiles in the Pitjanieki race course, which is adjacent to Historic Motor Museum and Restoration Center Mežci. It is not a race, but a regularity test. Lap length is 3.58 kilometers. 4 laps are counted, the distance of 14.32 kilometers. The time of each participant is taken from lap 2. Scoring is made relative to the times of laps 2 to 4 on a points basis. The winner is the one who is penalized the least number of points. This type of competition originates from Austria and is becoming very popular in continental Europe. slowdown on the track means inconsistent lap times or additional penalty points. So unfortunately, this competitor is already a loser. Mr. Terence Martin, with his 1934 Morgan MX2. Mr. Antanas Ilgauskas, with his 1938 Knucklehead Harley Davidson, a motorcycle he bought in his youth. Really enjoyed by motorcyclists. Especially by a team of active riders section of the Vintage Motorcycle Club of Great Britain, who are having a nice gallop after a long and tiring overland trip to Riga. It is of course forbidden for the driver to have on him or his machine clocks, wristwatches or any speed measuring device. Speedometers must be blocked by special means provided before the start. Some of the Finnish fans enjoy themselves in a truly Olympic fashion. Festive mood and historic atmosphere is maintained by traditional Latvian national folk singers and dancers of all age groups, dressed in national costumes. This open-air waltz is an introduction to the award presentation program in the Palace of Culture. A special award is presented to Australian-born Latvian Viktors Zalums in memory of his first-time visit to the land of his ancestors. Best lady drivers leaving Czechoslovakia, such is the jury's decision. Journalists Award goes to Karl-Henrik Sturmer and his Ducati, both from Norway. Mr. Stephen Hogan and his Dennis G. Toasttrack bus have been voted public favorite in Rally Riga 88. Congratulations! Mr. Antanas Ilgauskas from Lithuania is the oldest rally participant. Mr. Knut Erik Bjerkeses and family received the Best Period Dress Award.
His family, team of Franklin, receives a prize for the best dressed equipage in this rally. Our congratulations. And this very special prize is given by our sponsor, Fund of Culture of Latvia.
An old melody from a Latvian song about our youth that will never return. Oh, pure nostalgia. This rally has again proved an old truth that man and his machine are as old as they want to be. If there is a will, there is a way. Kharkiv, one of the most popular Latvian rock and roll ensembles, is playing. And so it happens that the ancient city of Riga, which was itself started back in 1198, has again opened its gates to the historic machines and is extending a warm welcome to its guests. Time in its 85 years, this Russia motor bicycle has returned to where it belonged, the cobblestone streets of its native city. For the sake of this reunion, it was actually ridden in the parade by yours truly.
The taxi almost killed me. See, I applied the brake.
Yes, that was the anxious voice of Juris Ramba, chief event organizer and motorcycle enthusiast. So, a non-competitive road run to Rundale Palace gets underway. drive through the town of Bauska. Real picnic atmosphere. Time for relaxation. Mr. Terence Martin says,
driven all the way from London, we came over land, we just crossed the English Channel, then we drove to West Germany, the GDR, Poland, Belarusia, Lithuania, into Latvia. So we've done 2,000 kilometers, and in 7 days we've had a lot of practice at keeping time.
Nüüd saame rääkida süvaselges eesti keeles ja küsimus on selline, et nii
an Estonian enthusiast is asked to sum up his impressions of the rally. The Estonian club unit this time had no major awards, yet the impressions are most favorable. Beside my own car, I like most Triumph and Bentley. We've seen many famous makes we do not have in Estonia. Mr. Richard Sladen says,
the first picture, of course, shows the car. It had been sitting outside in the backyard of a man's house for 16 years. So you can imagine how decrepit the car was. The engine was seized, tires were all flat, all the paint was rotten, the roof was rotten, the wood was rotten. It was really, really bad condition. But because it was such a rare car, and because I have 2 small children, I wanted a car that would be practical for the family to use, not just a car for myself.
How long you restored this car?
It took me 1,200 hours, 1,200 hours that I recorded. I probably spent at least another 300 hours that I did not record, and over the last 6 years, I've probably spent another 100 hours on it, just either improving things or maintaining the car.
well, your hands betray you. They are not motorist hands. My husband usually does all the mechanical work. I just help him and drive. Could you open the bonnet?
Silnik Fiata z 1939 roku, 24 konie.
1500 cc, 24 horsepower, 4 cylinders.
1500. Więcej nie. 4-cylindrowy.
Mr. Knut Erik Bjerges says,
1919. Og den litt
my
spesiell.
Franklin is a 1919 model. It has a 6-cylinder engine with a unique air cooling system and aluminium body.
Og den har vi reist noe rundt med.
Mycket.
Ja, det har blitt noen kilometer. Vi liker å bruke bilen, noe den også bærer preg av, men det synes vi litt hyggelig, litt trevligt.
Vad tycker flickorna om det?
De synes det trevligt, de også. Det jo kanskje et problem at de forstår ikke noe...
We always travel together with our children. The girls like it here. We've got problems with local meals which are very delicious.
I dag spiste de virkelig.
Where did you find this car?
No, my jsme ji našli na zahradě.
Out of town.
Dala několik let, asi 10 let a manželovi se strašně líbily starý auta. Tak se o to zajímá, tak jsme to nakonec koupili.
And how many years did it take to restore this car? 4. Who restored it for you? We both. I helped my husband. And who drives it? In the city? Both? Or who has had no beer?
Если никто не выпил пиво.
Who has had a pint today? We both have. Mr. Olav Salinen is asked, is this a bike you brought over from Finland? No, this one ran out of juice on the way here and we gave it a lift. Our present motorcycle Vinha is a challenge to the restorers over here. We look forward to seeing it restored to pristine condition when we come over next year.
Kyllä varmasti. Minä sanon, että tämä on haaste uuden museon pajalle, kun tulen ensi kerralla, niin se on varmaan hienossa kunnossa entiseltä.
Машина действительно очень хорошо сохранена. Это сколько лет у вас?
В следующем году возраст автомобиля...
Mr. Viktor says, my Packard will be 50 years old next year. 31 years. It is in my possession. We'll never sell it. You don't sell your family member. Then you can look forward to many awards in future.
Нет, и разговоры совершенно, так сказать, беспредметные.
Значит, у вас еще много призов в будущем.
Да, может быть.
Construction work of the Rundala Palace was commenced in 1736. Today we have to pay tribute to the skill and dedication of the restorers who, after years of neglect and extensive war damage, have brought back to its former glory the lavish interior of this wonderful palace. wonderful rally seems to have happened only yesterday. And now that it is time to say farewell, it seems that even Mother Nature feels sorry, as she cannot hide her tears. Although we are homeward bound, we will no doubt meet again, as all great events, just like big rivers, have small but sure beginnings.